All right, Greg, I started recording. Aha, I hope you weren't
Awesome.
off guard. So this is Greg Hein. You can't really catch him off guard. He's very, very successful. We are part of the same mastermind with Brad Lee, Closer School Live. So Greg's going to be dropping some major bombs. Not only that, but he's one of my seniors. He's Mr. Hein. He's very successful, you get me. And he's great at sales. He's great at networking. He's great at building relationships. I've learned a lot of Greg simply just by seeing how he interacts with people online. I'm like, this guy's a freaking rock star, dude. Other guys got to learn from Greg too, because he knows how to build a relationship with everybody. He's like the one that talks to everybody. He's really good. So these
Thank you. I
episodes,
appreciate that.
of course, my pleasure. Being on the podcast as one of our guests today, Winning Success Social Dynamics, Life by Design. It's pretty much some of your best practices and your mind maps. You get me? How are some of the things that you do and decodifying it, like Brad likes to say? You get me? For like a lot of the other guys that aren't part of masterminds with people that generate hundreds of millions of dollars a year, or connected to all these guys that are doing all these big things, and then they'll share stuff with us, allowing us to like level up, which most people wouldn't have access to. So right now we're gonna be picking your brain. This is your episode. It's pretty much just Life by Design, Winning Success Social Dynamics, and all of Greg's IG and your platform, everything is back there. So you can take it wherever you want, however you want. You can start. I'll ask you a couple of questions here and there. So maybe
Yeah,
how
for
you grew
sure.
up, how you got into sales, or anything that you want
Yeah.
altogether.
So I didn't go to college. I screwed up. I went to a very good high school, one of the best in Pennsylvania. But as a kid, I didn't take anything seriously. I just thought school sucked. I sucked at school. Never realized the importance of education as a young person. And now, as I'm older, I regret that all the time. Like, I would get in fights with teachers. I would yell at them saying they're not good at teaching. Why are you teaching this stuff? We're not going to need it. But as I grew up, I of course realized that, oh, this is why they were doing this. This is the importance of this thing. Um, but because I tried to get the easy way out of school, I did everything the easiest. I never even had one class of algebra. I tell my daughter that all the time. I said, don't take the easy way out, because that's what I did. I went to trade school in school to be a carpenter. I graduated high school, started working for a general contractor, building houses, building decks on $500,000 homes, $1 million homes. Then I moved out of the area where I was living before, moved up to where I am now, got into garage doors, installing garage doors, servicing garage doors, all sorts of residential homes, commercial construction. And then until I think it's 7 or 8 years ago now, I don't remember. In fact, 2013, I had a bad accident at work where I was in the back of a tractor trailer working on a tractor trailer door, flew out of the back of the tractor trailer 10 feet to the ground, broke my right elbow and my left foot. So that really laid me up for a while. I was out of work maybe like 3 months, had to have surgery on my arm and on my elbow the next day. It was that bad. But then I'm just hopping around because I can only use one leg and one arm. It was a real struggle, but and they always say the elbow industry is the elbow injury is one of the worst, because you can usually never straighten your arm afterwards. But I got full range of motion because I put everything I had into my physical therapy, and because I knew I had a family to support and I couldn't just like not put the effort into it. So I gave it everything I had in physical therapy, got my arm back at full range of motion, and eventually went back to work. And when I went back, my boss at the time at the garage door company I was working at asked if I wanted to go into sales. So I said, yeah, of course. I always wanted to do sales. I actually applied to do sales at one of my previous jobs, and they gave it to somebody else. But I started out doing sales at the garage door company, and learned a lot about cold calling, marketing, how to network, how to reach out to people. Put myself through a lot of social media training, SEO training, because it was all on me. It was a very small company, I think like 6 people. But that first full year that I did sales there, the company made like $1.2 million, and it was like the most they ever made in like 30 years or something like that. I just put everything I had into it. Of course, there's ups and downs. Getting commission, you have low months or low weeks, and it is what it is. But you just gotta. One of the things about sales, your income's going to fluctuate, so you got to save your money. So I was there for probably about 2 years. Then I had another job open up at a garage door manufacturer, which was an excellent opportunity, a huge pay increase, excellent benefits. And so I took that job, pretty much started at the bottom there. And it was doing an inside sales role, looking at drawings, working with the dealer network, using a lot of my technical aspect, because I have a lot of that from being hands-on and actually installing the product, as to where the people that were there for a long time didn't have that, and I did, which really helped me grow in the company. So I was there about a year and a half, and then I got a chance to get another promotion, which I did, so that I was doing international. I was an international sales rep, and I was covering all of Canada then. So I was still doing pretty much a lot of the same things, but then I would go to meet the dealers in British Columbia or Toronto area. I did a training seminar in Edmonton, Alberta, and in Calgary. It was a lot of fun. It was nerve-wracking for me, because I never did anything like that before, but I'm the one that wanted to do it, to take my time and to help that company grow, because they're one of our dealers, and they were struggling with the our product that they're trying to sell. So if I take my knowledge of it to them, they're going to in turn sell the product better, which is going to be better for the bottom line for our company. So it was a great learning experience for me. I was nervous as hell walking out of the hotel room, getting in the rental car, going, and just put my game face on and hit it. And everybody was asking questions, learned a lot of stuff. You may think there's a lot to it, but there's so many different components to garage doors, and but everybody enjoyed it, had a lot of fun. And another time I went to Toronto, met with the customers, spoke, trained another bunch of people in Toronto area. Again, trained them on our system, on our products, to help them grow, because they were a lot of green people, newer people with that company, and they really appreciated me taking my time out to help them sell the product better, install the product better. So I did that for close to 3 years, and then I got a chance for another promotion, and I got that as well, and I moved to the retail world. So I was a project manager for about a year and a half with the company I'm at now, which we provide garage doors and security solutions for the front of house and back of house for retail applications, covering like high-end retailers, big box stores, Home Depots and Lowe's and different stuff like that. So now, just recently, I moved into a full-time sales role, doing the same thing with those same types of companies. So one thing that I do constantly, compared to a lot of my coworkers that are still in the same position when I started with this company 6 years ago, is I am constantly learning, whether it be podcasts, Closer School Live, rewatching that stuff, watching content on YouTube, reading books, as where the other people that I work with are just putting their time in, and 9 to 5, that's all they do. As where I was always the first one in the door. I was always the last one in the door when we're actually physically going in office. So that is one thing that always puts me ahead of everybody else there. Other people have tried to make those advancements, but management saw that I am a good with customer service skills and good at communicating. And that's one of the reasons why I kept moving up that ladder so fast compared to the people. There's still a handful of people that are still in the position that trained me on my first day getting in that building. So it's like disheartening to see like, wow, you people have so much opportunity and you're wasting it. Why would you just settle and only want to get a merit increase once a year? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And like, to me, I want to grow. I want to be better. I have goals I want to be at financially.
Yeah.
I may not be at them now, but I know I'm in the path as to where I can get those goals. You know what I mean?
Like the multiple, like 8 figures pretty much.
Yeah, for sure.
Because
Um,
you're already making like multiple 6 figures, aren't you? Like 6, 7 figures now.
no, but I know what I need to do to get there. Like, I don't know if it was Brad. I know it was Bradley at some point said, do the math. Do the math to know what you have to do to get where you want to be. And I've done that. I know what I need to do to get to where I need to be. And I'm on that path right now. And I will get there. Um,
Believe
all
you
the
will.
goal,
Yes.
yeah,
Like,
all the goals that I've set out so far for myself, I have reached and exceeded. Um, and believe you me, there was nothing easy about getting to where I am. At
yeah,
one point in my
especially in the
life,
corporate world.
oh yeah. At one point, at my lowest point, I was homeless, sleeping in my truck at the first garage door company I worked with, and that was a real struggle for me. But to going from sleeping in my truck, homeless,
Or
um, to where I am now, I very much consider myself a very successful person because
you
I
are.
never gave up and knew that no matter what I was going through in life, I had my daughter is my world, and um, I had to keep going for my daughter, whether it was when I was homeless, or when I got hurt at work. I knew I had to keep going for her. I couldn't, I had to set a good example for her to show her that if you want things in life, you got to put your forth your best effort, no matter what it is. And now I'm sure you see me post on social media and stuff, and she's doing boxing now. So I see
Yes, I
that in
saw
her
that.
now.
That's very intelligent of you, by the way. And you have
Yeah,
that in common with Pat Hilton. Pat, I'm not sure if you know who Pat is.
no,
Pat is pretty much, he's going to be the EMC for the event right now that he's going to be introducing Brad Lee. You get me? He would sleep on like his friends' couches sometimes. Before, you get me, he got into business right now and he started to grow his digital marketing agency, making 50 grand, like 100 grand recurring wise. It's the same mindset because everybody that becomes successful, you get me? Brian Tracy will tell you success is predictable. You get me? It's if you work out, if you eat clean, you're going to get fit. That's the way I like to share it a lot of the time
yeah.
because it's just predictable. All the successes that you already have accomplished. I mean, that is so like you generating $1.2 million. You get me? Getting hurt before that, then generating $1.2 million, getting promoted to like leadership roles, literally being the leader among men, being in charge, training these guys so they can be able to produce more, getting promoted again, getting promoted again. So I mean, what are what are some of the things that I know that you shared that by reading and stuff, like you were able to short time a lot of what you did growing up and then you get me creating more success. What are some other things that you believe that you did that make you exceptional and that make you stand out from all your colleagues and all your peers? You get me being the power persuader that you are everywhere that you go.
Um, for the most part, just one of the things that like um I would like to be introverted to where I just go and just lay on a couch and not communicate with people. And it's one of the things I tell my daughter and stepdaughter all the time is, and of course they're young, 13 and 14. They don't understand. I say get uncomfortable because
Yeah,
they're the
you
same
want that.
way, like mindset, that where they just want to watch TV or
Excellence.
whatever, and they don't want to socialize with people they don't know. But put yourself in an uncomfortable situation, do something you can't see yourself doing. By making yourself uncomfortable, it's going to help you grow no matter what you're doing. So that's one of my biggest things that I've learned from Brian Cristiano, is one of my mentors. I follow a lot of the stuff he does, spoken with him. Get yourself uncomfortable. When you get yourself uncomfortable, no matter what you're doing, whether it's approaching a stranger, throwing a couple bucks to a homeless person, buying somebody a meal, doing a random act of kindness, um, jumping on a podcast, making a cold call, get yourself uncomfortable. No matter what you do, when you're uncomfortable, you're going to grow and learn from that situation. If you, no matter what it is, like even if you have an idea in a business and you fail at it, you're still going to grow from that experience. You may
100%.
not have been successful in what you wanted to do. You had an idea, you took the leap to actually do it. And even if you don't make a dime from it, you got to know in your mindset that you were successful because you learned from that experience, and now you can apply it elsewhere in life. So no
Powerful
matter
mindset,
what
by
you're
the way.
doing,
It's a good one.
yeah, so no matter what you're doing in life, grow from your uncomfortability. Like even like in church, I go to church.
I love
I'm a
Jesus.
leader. Yeah,
Jesus,
I'm a
Jesus.
yeah. I'm a leadership of my church community. I am the president of our church council. We're a small congregation. Nobody else wanted to step up. I'm like, I will gladly be the leader of this church, and it takes up
Awesome.
a lot of my time. But I totally believe in it. Makes me
Right.
uncomfortable to lead the meetings, but I get better and better at it. There's conflict that once in a while you have to resolve with other people, but again, it's something that a leader does, whether it be with a coworker, an employee, a friend. You got to step up and get uncomfortable, learn from that uncomfortability, and you're going to grow as a person. So yeah, that's one of my big things, is growing from the uncomfortability of no matter what you're doing in life.
What are some of the things that I guess began to like put you in the mindset of learning that when you got uncomfortable, that's when you started to make progress? Because, like you said earlier, most people won't move towards like uncomfortable things. And that's what prevents them from accomplishing everything that they want to accomplish, and then the things yet to accomplish, and then the things that previously were yet to accomplish. Success
Uh,
being, you get me, highly predictable
yeah, pretty much like
to a large extent. Of course, you're gonna have shit hit the fan sometimes, right? Like, but it being predictable, you get me? Because like you shared all the things that happen, temporary defeat, you just go ahead and you create that as success afterwards, right? Like I've done the wholesaling thing with real estate now, and I've put thousands and thousands of dollars into it, and it flopped a bunch of times. For me, I've learned from all those things. Each time it's gotten closer, and I'm pretty close to closing my first $15,000 to $25,000 deal. Once I do that, I reinvest it into the biz, and I can scale. You get me? It's like real entrepreneurship. It's like fuck. It's like, but I'm okay posting my failures online. Like if you've seen any of my, yeah, dude. Like I'm super cool with it though, because I'm like, this is gonna help other people, because you fuckers need to get off your ass in a very
yeah,
positive way, because you want to become successful. And how is it that you can get to all the goals that you're yet to receive? Well, you visualize them, you get uncomfortable, you get me, you do things that are challenging. Like some of the guys, you get me, like we're already good friends, and I'm happy that I was able to do this podcast. But process, you get me, of doing the first episode. It's like, oh my fucking gosh, dude. I saw Brad the Mint doing it. Me and him hung out the other day. We're pretty good buddies now. It's like, Brad, like you started this podcast and you got me to think bigger because of the proximity. I'm around Greg and I'm over here like, fuck, dude, I want even more success now because of the energy you get me, the proximity, all the charisma, all of that. I mean, anywhere they want to take it.
Yeah, like of course, like you said, you're on the verge of getting your first real estate deal,
You have
and
no idea.
you've learned
My
from
recruiter's
your
blowing up my phone right now. I'm gonna get a job. I'm gonna make somebody else like a lot of money because I burns funds. I'm already getting my phone lit up. I had somebody calling me. I thought it was you before this. I'm like, I can't answer the call right now. I got to get ready for the podcast with Greg. He'll understand.
yeah, of course. But yeah, you just can't give up. Like and it was probably like I don't it was when I started doing the first sales job at the garage door place. I with the process of learning, watching YouTube videos, somehow I stumbled on Grant Cardone, and in watching Grant's content, I stumbled onto Brad Lee,
Brad's
and
pretty.
yeah, and that's pretty much how I found Brad. And one thing that stuck with me with him was training is
I
not
studied all of
something.
them, by the way,
Yeah.
just in case.
And then of course you have to, like, you can't just rely on one person, whether it be Jordan Belfort
Right.
or
He's pretty awesome too.
yeah, Grant or Brad. You gotta get a little piece of everybody and choose what you want to implement. But one of the
All their
things
best
that
practices
yeah,
that you
one of the
identify
things
with.
that Bradley always said is you don't training is something not something you did, it's something you do. So it's just like learning. You're not done learning when you're done with high school or done with college. I thought I was done learning when I was done with high school.
So did
I was
Brian
going to be
Tracy.
I thought I was done with school. I'm out of school. I'm going to be a carpenter. I'm just going to keep skating my life. But something inside me said, okay, I'm a not a big, bulky, muscular guy. This shit is hard on my body being a carpenter. I don't want to keep lugging these shingles up and down this ladder. I don't want to keep lugging around these big ass garage doors. They're heavy. They are. And I knew I wanted to do something better with my life. So something inside me just kept pushing and pushing to get better constantly in life. And I had people, I working on getting married for my third time. So my first wife
Hey,
said I was never going to mount anything,
like Brad.
and I was never going to be a mount anything in the garage door industry. So I was going on over 20, close to 20 years in the garage door industry now. So fuck her.
There we go. He's like, hey babe, you like this?
Yeah,
Kind of cool,
pretty,
huh?
yeah, pretty much. But yeah, like I was saying, and I know I see you all the time on social media, learning from everybody, the Wolf of
Greg.
Wall Street, Brad, Grant. You got to take a little bit of everything from everybody and mold it into how you want to learn. And one tip that I want to give to everybody out there that I've learned: YouTube has a shit ton of free audiobooks. I listened to Jim Quick's Limitless on there. It's excellent. A ton of free books on there. One other thing, I know everybody, not everybody, but 90% of the population is Amazon Prime members. Gives you access to Amazon Music. There's a ton of Napoleon Hill content on there. Zig Ziglar on there, and I just listened to Jocko's book last week as well.
Which
So
one?
I listened to Think and Grow Rich last week and Jocko, and I listened to Zig's this week already as well. Nice. Yeah. Yep. And one of the people I follow on LinkedIn and a little bit on Facebook is I'm looking at my other computer because he's up here now on my LinkedIn. I can't think of it now. He does the Secret Knock. Greg. Oh, I can't think of his name. Let me search here quick. Greg Reed does the Secret Knock. And one thing he posted last week, he did a whole article about how he wants to do a local secret knock for everybody to have their own mastermind group of local people. And that is just the same exact thing that Napoleon Hill talks about in Think and Grow Rich, about doing your own masterminds with like-minded people, or even doing a mastermind in your head of people you look up
that
to.
you admired.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
It works.
So, yeah, absolutely. It's great. And you surround yourself with people and you grow from those people. Like I tell other people that I've spoken to that are coming into the sales world, I can't tell them how valuable it has been for me to be into Closer School Live. Besides the content on there, it's the relationships with people like you and Joe Ingram and Johnny Richardson, all those other people that we connect with each other on Facebook, and yeah, and you grow from each other, seeing what everybody else posts, messaging back and forth, because you're not just learning on Closure School Live or when you rewatch, you learn from the questions they ask in Closure School Live or the stuff they post. So just those relationships itself have paid for Closure School Live in itself, just those relationships. So I don't, maybe you feel the same way about that, but that's one thing that I've gained out of it.
I was part of the Founders Club, so I actually don't pay for Closer School Live. I was one of the pre-orders. Like before it was even $7 a month. I was part of that small group where Brad was still building his brand, and they told me I was dumb, one of my last employers, for purchasing Closer School Live. They're like, they just want to take your money. I'm just like, well, I don't really believe that, and I'm gonna still purchase this. You get me? And I'll leave you a name because I'm just kind. But yes.
I didn't get into Founders Club, but I pay a pretty low amount compared to what it is now, but it's priceless. It is. So that's best investment I ever did in myself, and it took a while for.
I didn't use it for the first year either. I didn't even know I had it. I was like, okay. Not really, at least.
So I have a question for you. So being such a person, what drives you and what motivates you to want to do what you're doing now?
I would have grown up most likely, and I would have kept going down a bad path to a path where it's like, I have friends of mine, some of them are still doing some of the things that, I mean, I don't even consider them friends anymore, but they're just like they're not doing really good things, but to an extreme. Like the Bible will share, you get me, if somebody tells you, you get me, let's go rob these people or do those things, you get me, just stay away from those people. So stay away from those people. And it was pretty much a 180. That's kind of what motivates me a lot, because what I didn't know before, I never had somebody telling me and affirming me, where it's like, oh, I am worthy, I am valuable, I can do anything I set my mind to, period. You get me? As long as I believe it. And if I believe it, I'll achieve anything that it is, because there's somebody that's done it before me. I'll figure it out. Jesus will help you. You get me? Like, been around. Like, there's resources out there that work, that are real, right? Like, I've only seen one Jesus cast out evil spirits, right? You'll even watch the movies in Hollywood, like they'll go to that. But when you actually have miracles in your own life, you get me, or other people, maybe as a Christian that you've seen or whatever it is, like you just it like there, and you practice it, you get me, things in life you begin to see that it's not just what some people would share as fairy tale, because you'll see like miracles happen throughout all things. Maybe you'll break somebody else's curse of black magic, whatever it is. Maybe they tried to put that on you. Regardless of what it was, you get me, when you have too many miracles, you get to the point where it's like even the demons tremble when they hear that there's only one Jesus, because everything around you, well, they know it's true, or they know it's true, and you can literally help other people. That's what will motivate me. What motivates me is that other people not going down the path that I would traditionally have gone through with the goals that society would have set for me. Where it's just like, I don't know, like maybe I'll end up in jail. They won't expect much of this kid. And then I had to work maybe 2-3 times as hard as some of the other kids. I always did good in school. I had a 3.0 GPA, had scholarships and all that. But it's kind of like I had to work 2-3 times as hard because I had to rebuild my self-image, like Psycho-Cybernetics by Dr. Max Maxwell. So then, I go out, I'm connecting with all these people. I ended up graduating from Harvard. It makes me highly marketable. It's just a certification. I use it. It's pretty much a sales degree, and I use it for marketability purposes. I mean, I have employers calling me right now to have my foot in the door. Well, I have all this other sales training. I study with Brad Lee. I've gone through Cardone University. I have all of Jordan Belfort's trainings. I got certified on that. I've read, you get me, shy of 200 books, right? I've put in my 10,000 hours in the field, making sales calls. Last guy I worked for, I made him like between $30,000 and $50,000, $40,000 and $50,000, 3-month period. I wasn't hired for sales, by the way. I was doing paperwork so I can study wholesaling, talking about one of my earlier failures. But all these things are wins because even though I made him a lot of money and I didn't make myself a lot of money, well, that's a win for me because I got to make him a lot of money. When I've learned how to close wealthy people on the phone at a very young age, like in the Wolf of Wall Street movie, it's like, oh, well, this is a skill set that it's pretty valuable. You get me? Because I know how to be able to now do more things, right? And I got to really learn that system pretty well. All these things, you get me, are things that I guess other people won't see them as wins, but like these are massive wins. Eventually, you just there's this book by Darren Hardy. I had this very wealthy person that introduced me to it before. Either way, the book is a great book. It's the compound effect. And between a 5-year period, it looks like these guys are all doing the same thing, right? There's not much change. There's not much difference. All the increments are the same. They have like charts. About around year 5, 6, 7, on year 5, 6, 7, around there. What happens is that all those past efforts, they spike. It's like a bamboo tree. It's like it just you just soar, and then the effort is monumental because it compounds. It's like snow. When it drops, you get me. It's just a little droplet. You put it in your hand and melts, but it compounds. Then you have all this snow all over the place. You get me. You have to get rid of it somehow. Oh my God, it's on my shoes. Oh, but it was a little droplet. It'll melt on your hand when you first touch it, right? But it'll compound very quickly. And sometimes you have like they say you can't even go to work sometimes because it's so snowy. But that's a compound effect, right? So it makes everything predictable. As long as you, I guess, really believe in yourself, you get me. Brad will tell you it's like it doesn't matter if they don't believe in you as long as you're not one of them. And it's just like, but it's true, right? And he'll tell you that. Greg will tell you that. You get me. Napoleon Hill will tell you that. Brian Tracy will tell you that. But all the people that are not winning, you get me, at some level, you get me, that are not on podcasts, that are not teaching, that haven't been promoted over and over and over, that haven't been leaders in churches. Well, that's, you get me, very different. It's like, well, maybe I want to be able to do that. Well, maybe I want to be able to find more happiness in my life. Well, maybe I want to be able to be an excellent father. How do I do all these things? Well, Greg just laid it out here in a lot of ways. There's resources out there. You got to take action. Some of his buddies were just doing the 9-to-5 thing. They weren't working on all these other goals that were important to them, right? They weren't smashing them over and over and over for himself individually. You get me? For me, I'm looking at that. I'm like, oh my gosh, that is very inspiring. I'm over here taking notes. Helped drive $1.2 million. Company hadn't made that in like 30 years.
Yeah.
That's big money, dude. That's huge money. Get out of here.
Yeah. And just like you said,
Sure.
celebrate the small wins, and they keep
Yes. You have to be
backing
kind
up.
to
Like
yourself.
even just in what I'm doing now, and anytime I get a meeting with a potential client, to me, that's a win. Because even if I don't get a sale out of them, or I'm building that relationship, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So a year from now, they at least know what the value I can provide to them, and maybe they'll have something later for myself or for the company that we can do business then. So yeah, no matter what you're doing, and it's one thing that I still am not doing enough of. Write your goals
Sure.
down, whether it be small, small obtainable goals. And then what I do is I have larger goals that I want to reach
Yeah.
in the future. Like I
Course.
know what financially my goal is in the future. Again, I'm not there now, but I know where I want to be, and I know the steps I need
What
to
is yet
take
to
to
come.
get there.
what
Yeah.
is yet to come already.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's,
And yeah,
the verbiage, it's powerful, like psychologically. Like,
yeah. And
and
that's one of the things that like Think and Grow Rich, and I think it's on Netflix as The Secret. Amazon
like that
Prime
one.
Video has Beyond the Secret. And I think they even have the movie that came out with Katie Holmes on there too, about The Secret. And that is very powerful stuff too. And no matter what it is, you're manifesting what you want and putting it out there to the universe that, hey, I want this to achieve this goal. And like Beyond the Secret, it's about what actions do I need to take, do I need to do to get to that, to reach that what I'm putting out to the universe. So
Yes.
again, to the people that are just starting out, don't have a lot of money, there's plenty of free resources for you to, with stuff you're already paying for. Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hulu has some good documentaries. I apologize.
If you're in the
Where I'm sitting
military.
now, there's two skylights here, and the sun this time of day sucks. But there's
You're
plenty of free
awesome.
resources out there for you to go reach your next goal of what you want to do in life. So don't say you don't have money. You have money, for stuff we're already putting out there. So get on Amazon Prime or Amazon Music, download those books that
Or
I
Apple
talked
Music.
about. Yeah.
It has a lot of Napoleon Hill stuff there. That's where I got it. A lot of Earl Nightingale as well on Apple Music, and then Amazon. I didn't know had that, and then the other ones I didn't know had that either.
Yeah, and just Google, not Google, go into YouTube, search audiobooks. A ton come up for self-help books. I did Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad on there. It's just so many valuable things you can get off of resources that are free, and you just keep growing from there. Take notes, read over your notes. Don't just take notes to take notes. Use those as a resource.
Yes.
Sorry, thirsty. Get
Yeah,
going. This stuff excites me. Helping people learn excites me. Helping people grow excites
training
me.
them
Yes, I
and
hate to
leading
see
them.
people struggle when I know they could do things easier than what they're doing. Everybody deserves to have success. It's up to those individual people if they're going to put it forth the effort to get their own personal success they want out of life. And like I was saying earlier about my daughter and boxing, it's one thing that I'm constantly teaching
That
her.
is
Like,
so good, by the way. Like she's gonna be able
yeah,
to kick ass. Like that's.
yeah,
I
and
had this girl that I grew up with. Like we would do kung fu together. Yeah, that was really cool.
and she
Really good
just
times.
started in January, and just like every time we go, I
Good to know.
video her, and watching her progression is just amazing, and saying um that how good she's getting, and how she never gives up no matter what the coach teaches her. She doesn't give up, and she asks questions. And like I said earlier about getting out of her comfort zone, it's very uncomfortable for her to do these types of things. She's getting out of her comfort zone, and she doesn't even know she's doing it, but she's learning and growing from it.
Thanks to you,
So yeah. So I
because you're in her ear. You're training her, man.
absolutely, yeah. And she loves it. It was her idea to start it,
Gonna blow
and
up.
she's sticking with it, and she wants to grow, and she wants to actually do a amateur fight, and she's putting in the work to get there, which is great.
It is exceptional.
Yeah.
What would be?
What else you got?
How's it like? How's it like being a dad? Like, what would be some parenting tips that I guess you would like? You'd share if you want. You get me? You
Yeah, for
please.
sure.
Because I'm 22. You get me? You're older than me. You're Mr. Hein. You get me? And you know you're my senior. Although you're a young stud. How is that like? You get me? Because I look at all my older buddies, like they'll be having kids, and for me, you get me? I'm much younger. I'm like, I probably don't want one till like I don't know, 26, 27, 28, 28, 27.
I think that's when I had my daughter, when I was about that age. Oh, no, I'm suck at math without thinking off the top of my head, but it's
as
it's
long as you can
great.
close, you're fine.
Yeah.
Math is
It's
good though.
being a parent is the best job in the world. It's very, very trying. But it's amazing to watch your child grow from being an infant and then learning to walk, learning to talk, communicate, have friends, learn from the heartbreaks of the changing in friendships, and being there to help her learn from those things, and to help her learn from the mistakes that I made in life or in school that I don't want her to make. And she sits there and laughs at it. And I'm like, nah, I did what I could to get out of doing anything hard in school. I want you to challenge yourself in school, because she's a very, very brilliant person. And it amazes me how smart she is, because I didn't challenge myself. And if I did challenge myself in school, I could have been that much further in life, because, like you said earlier, you had to work
Sure.
extra hard than
I
everybody
did,
else.
like
And
two, three
that's what I
times as
had to do
hard.
too.
Like I had to
Yeah.
rebuild my self-image. Like
Yeah.
our unconscious self-image is what you get me will govern our ideas, how we speak, where we end up. But it's moldable, right? Like the brain itself, like I've put in my 10,000 hours. Like when it comes to neurolinguistics programming, one of the interesting things about it, and Dr. Maxwell to psychocybernetics, Napoleon Hill, what he did, it was NLP to a large extent. It's called modeling. You'd go to all these people, you'd get their best stuff, and he decodified it and he put it in a book. And all these people, if they follow those steps and they model them in their own way, they're going to have all these extra things that are going to be gleaming around in their head, these new ideas, these new thoughts. They think unconscious. They begin to have an impact, you get me, on the individual.
Yeah. Yeah. But with parenting, just it's
Like me, it had an impact on me as
yeah,
well.
being a parent is such a great responsibility. And now that she's going into high school next year, she had to choose her classes for high school.
That's so
And just
cool.
watching her say what she wants to do with her life out of school, and just the things that she wants to do, it's amazing to see all the things that she is already setting forth in her mind that she wants to do, and already saying the goals that she wants to reach. So I think she's starting to see the how I'm a good role model to
Yes,
where
you
I
are.
was at one point in life to where I am now. I had a lot of sacrifice to get to where I am, and maybe to some people I'm not successful, but I don't care what they think. I know where I was in life, and I know where I am now, and I think I'm hella successful
You
for the
are, and what is
sacrifice
yet to be already.
yeah, yeah.
Like
So, but
that's
yeah, being a
language.
parent
Language we use.
is the best thing in the world. It really is. Some people, hey, kids aren't for everybody. Um, they're
What do you think about adopting? What do you think about that? Or having your own little one? Because it's like your lineage to a, I mean,
yeah, yeah. But even adopting, because I know people
sure.
that were adopted, and I think that that's an
I do as
amazing
well.
responsibility. And to
They become
adopt
successful
somebody,
too.
yeah, to adopt somebody that and then you raising them because somebody else gave them up for a better life, and then having somebody raise them, it's just like you're raising them as your own. And I think adoption is an amazing opportunity to affect somebody's life in a very positive manner.
Greg, what would be, I guess, like, I'll let you run now because I'm sure you have a lot of things to do, but I do have a couple of more questions still for you
Sure.
with you. Okay. When it comes to life in itself, what would be some mantras that you use, like some wisdom? You get me? It could be three, it could be four, it could be five. If you have a little bit more than that, that'd be awesome as well. But I guess things that you tell yourself, like mantras, like things that where you're just like, these are things that they've always kept me going, right? These are things that, or when I began to incorporate them and implement them into myself, you get me, whether it was a habit, whether it was, you got me, something that you would tell to yourself, you got me like an affirmation. What are little specifics you got me if you were training, I guess, the world, you got me? It could be the word of Jesus, anything that you want, you got me, in any area. It could be a habit,
So
affirmation, a
the
scripture
one,
verse, any
yeah, the
three,
one
four,
thing that
five, maybe, no, more is fine as
always
well.
the one thing that always relates to me is and I'm pretty cliche, is just don't give up. I watch a lot of MMA and boxing. Everybody gets knocked down in life. Um, you get up, you dust yourself off, and you keep going, no matter what it is. It and on this same wavelength, is have a damn positive mindset.
Yes.
I cannot stand being around negative people. It just because I
You're
worked
allergic to
closely.
negativity.
Yeah, yeah. You beat around somebody negative, it'll, it'll suck the goddamn life out of you.
Amen.
And it's the God's honest truth. And I've been a negative person in the past, and then
Yeah.
looking back, I'm like, why was I so negative? If you have a positive mindset, it changes everything around you.
Yeah.
Like, and never give up, positivity, being grateful that you get a second chance every day to be better than you were yesterday. So my coworkers call me and they'll say, how's your day going? Best day of my life. Why is the best day? Because I'm above ground. You know what I mean? And I might
Yeah.
be a little bit of smart ass when I say it, but you know what? It's a good day. Sure, there's bad things that happen throughout your day that make it suck or whatever. But the
But
end
it's
of the end of the
awesome.
day, it's still a good day. I accomplished things. May had a little bit of trouble along the way, hit a little bumps, but you solve the problems, you learn from it. It's a good day. So those are my couple things that just every day's a good day. You're above ground. A positive mindset. Never give up. So those are the pretty much the things that I live by.
And gratitude.
Yeah,
So you
absolutely.
mentioned that one too. So I'm over here just trying to break it all down. So in case anybody wants to incorporate any of these things, you get me. Like, one of the things that I liked in between all, I liked all of it, by the way. It's that when you share the best day of my life, I'm just like, I really like that. There was this quote where it's like, if I was doing any better, I'd be worried. It's like, I don't remember what book I got that from, but it reminded me, you get me. And then Greg, you get me, just live and in person. It's just like, best day of my life. I'm just like, that's tremendous. That's pretty awesome. Um, yeah, I mean, that's great.
Yeah, I mean, you it could be that you may think you're having a horrible day, but in reality, it's a good day. You're not sick in the hospital, on a ventilator. Don't have cancer. You don't have some other disease. You're not living in a third world nation.
Oh my gosh.
Your life could be so much worse off than somebody ordering something wrong, or a car not having tinted windows, or somebody buying a car at a different dealership from the one you work at. um sure, it could have been a better day because they walked out of your dealership, or whatever, but you are above ground, you're not in the hospital, you don't have a disease, you are, the sun is shining, you're happy, you should be happy for everything you have that God put in front of you. Instead of, like I said, a negative mindset. I cannot stand being around negative people. I've I've
Right.
I've been around it way too much, and it just sucks the life right out of you. I can't stand it.
Yeah. I I literally channel all my focus towards the enthusiasm and PMA myself, because I mean, I'm allergic to negativity myself, man. You just
Yeah,
PMA, PMA always. It's the
yeah,
best thing, you got me, for us, because I mean, that's how we're gonna achieve all our goals. Like, at an unconscious level, because people talk about affirmations all the time, affirmations do work, but you have to do them with passion. Because when you do them with passion, they begin to sink unconsciously. like the repetition being the mother of skill. These little tiny things, they'll begin to build like our self-images towards what we want. Then we get to choose, well, what self-image do I want? What attitudes do I want? What is it that I want? Well, we decide that for ourselves, what it is that it is. We write it down and we can affirm it to ourselves. Once we can begin to do that, you begin to believe that you are that thing. You actually become it. I don't know. It's really, and Napoleon Hill would talk about that as well with auto suggestion. Have your goals constantly out. You get me? So you can see them. You're gonna naturally be able to go towards that path already. Um, so I mean, this has been a transformative call. Like I've taken a lot away, even just masterminding together here. And then you get me. The rest of the world's like, oh my god, like it's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. I did too. I really enjoyed it.
It's a pleasure having you stop by, to be honest with you, Greg. Thank you for some of your time, Mr. Hein. I appreciate you, Greg. Is there any last words that I guess you kind of want to share with like some of the other cats that are coming up, or some of anybody that's really here, in addition to what you shared, like any final words, any last words?
Just don't be afraid to put yourself out there, get uncomfortable, grow, and never stop learning and never stop growing. No matter what it is in life, just don't give up and grow and learn. And put a smile on your face. Everybody, smile's contagious. Everybody loves a smile. Be positive. That's all I got.
All right, guys, if you guys want to follow Greg, we have all the social media back here. You can Google him at Greg Hein. You'll be able to pull him up on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and his Instagram at bones5411. Um, are there any, last question before you go, what are some things that you do to build relationships with other people, if you please, if you still have some time there?
Yeah,
Because
for
that's
sure.
something where,
Just
you're great at
connect with
building
them.
relationships.
Connect with them on LinkedIn. Connect with them on Facebook. And don't try to pitch them or sell them right away. We've all had that on LinkedIn or even Facebook. And I had this one lady reach out to me and, oh, join my gym, lose 80 pounds in a month and go to my gym for
Maybe
free.
cringe.
I'm like, lady, you need to learn to pitch. You need to learn to build
I don't know you.
relationships, and you need to learn your demographics. I'm like, lady, your gym's like 100 miles away from where I live. Why would I ever buy from you? But again, the point is, don't try to pitch right away. Build that relationship and then go to the next level eventually. Try to help them get other clients. So if you see somebody looking for, they need help, somebody that's hiring on LinkedIn, take the time to share that post. Somebody could have just lost their job because of COVID or something like that, that you're providing value to them. And then it's like, hey, I saw this, Greg shared this on LinkedIn. I think I would be a good fit for this job. Keep building that up and up. And I think that's a one way to build relationships is to keep offering value, and then they will see the value in you, like you see the value in my positivity, and you saw the
Enthusiasm.
value of me coming today to do this with you.
Yes, because I think you're very successful, to be honest with you, Greg. Not just because we're in closer school and all that, but you're somebody that is just good at with people. Like I don't know, like I'm like I like Greg.
Thank you. I
I
appreciate that. It means a lot.
mean, there's other episodes that have not aired. Like I'm gonna air this one. I like it, but I like Greg. Like Greg is awesome. Like I don't know, like I like how he is with me. I like how he is with everybody else. It's like Greg is Greg has an insatiable amount of charisma. I gotta have him on the show. There's gonna be people that I'd be doing them a disservice if I don't have Greg on the show. I mean, you could literally record this and use it as a testimonial if you'd like, but I just shared it with you first.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. I do.
Together,
But I look forward to
of
getting the
course.
feedback from everybody out there, and gladly reach out to me at any time if you have any questions, anybody out there, and connect with me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. And I look forward to meeting everybody, and I hope everybody enjoys this episode.
They're gonna love it. All right, guys. This is Noel here. Thank you so much for sharing some time with Greg and I today. And this is us signing off. Catch you on the
Thank you.
next one.